Wholehearted Homemaking. My name is Heather, and today I have for you a very random video. I have just a huge haul of astronomy materials. We just finished our astronomy unit a few weeks ago. It took longer for random things. And I have quite the assortment of astronomy materials. Most of them I can tell you specifically where I got them, and some I cannot. But I thought I'd share with you so that way if you're doing an astronomy unit and you want to approach it from a Charlotte Mason method, you can have some of these great resources also. So one thing that I can't really give you a source from because they were gifts from my father and some friends are magazines. There are so many from National Geographic. We have several of these that are from, where are they from? From ICR, from the Institute for Creation Research. And they have articles about space things. And then also Kids Discover. And we had a couple of kids science magazines also. So magazines can be a great place to get some articles, especially if you're looking for some up-to-date. Obviously, mine are not from up-to-date because they are ones from my dad, but that's okay. So magazines are a great place. Another great resource from Institute for Creation Research is the universe. It comes with 4 different CDs here. And so you have Ancient Astronomy, A Golden Age, Into the Stars, and Pushing Forward. So it kind of follows the trajectory of astronomy study. And if you really wanted to take it further, it even comes with this little teacher guide with it that we didn't use. We just watched the videos. But they were short and easy enough for elementary age even to keep focused on. So that's from Institute from Creation Research. The next thing is books for little kids. And these from Usborne. I think it's now called Paper Pie. These are great, but The Peak Inside Space and What Are Stars were wonderful books for that. And then for little kids, I have these from when I was a teacher. And I got these at thrift stores, and I just built it up over years. So we have Me and My Place in Space is a nice little story about where we all belong in the solar system. I Can Be an Astronaut. You can get these at library often. National Geographic has really great little readers that have just like simple pages to read about. And so that's wonderful. Of course, anything Gail Gibbons is wonderful. The Moon book is great, goes through the moon cycle. Then On the Moon is just a fun little, if you wondered what it would be like to go to the moon, and it talks about that. And that's always a fun one with little kids. Another Gail Gibbons is The Planets. So like I said, anything Gail Gibbons is a winner. The Moon Seems to Change. This is, I don't know if it's the same author or what, but if you've seen there's one about a seed and things like that, and it kind of just goes through the moon cycles, but it goes a little more in depth. It would be perfect for middle to upper elementary. I have this Night Sky, and it's an Eyewitness Explorer, so it's really for younger kids. But as you can see, I mean, it goes into quite a lot of detail, but it is in a smaller book, and it is a little simpler reading, much shorter sentences to understand. One thing is when you teach astronomy, you kind of need to know if you're old Earth, young Earth, what your philosophy is on that. And we are young Earth, so what we couple all of these with creation-focused biblical worldview focus materials as well. So then I have this set I got years ago. I think I got it in one of those book orders for school, but it's Scholastic News, and it has one for every planet. They have these at libraries and other places, but these are wonderful. They let the kids read about each planet. They're a little outdated, but it's nice to have a little thin copy for the kids to go through about each one. Most of it is not outdated, but it's space, so there's always something outdated. And then Walk When the Moon is Full kind of goes through a story of what it would be like to walk at night, and it's just nice, just a nice little story that gives you, with some illustrations there, through the year, what it would be like at night. So that's a good one. Next up are some like guides and ones that I would use for older kids. Now for my Form 2, Form 3, 4, so that would be grades 4th through 8th, through 9th really. I use this guide. So this is the middle school guide, and then there's a Form 2 one as well. And it has experiments and things in it. Now, with this Form 3, the Form 2 one was amazing. I can't find the booklet where it was, but it worked wonderful with my kids. I'll show you the book we used with the Form 2. That was awesome. Now, this was for my middle schooler, and the guide, awesome. The book it uses, not awesome. I did not enjoy this book. I didn't, my oldest did finish it. I didn't. Unfortunately, I did not pre-read this. I love Dava Sogel's other books, but this has been a real disappointment to me. You really want to make sure if your child's going to use this that they have a strong foundation on what their worldview is and knowing biblical truths before they go through it. Now, for what I used with the younger kids, for the Form 2 guide, they used this by H.A. Ray, which was delightful. You could use this for all elementary school ages. It goes through the constellations. It walks you through the night sky, gives you tasks to do along with it, and made it very practical. And it wasn't full of all the constellation stories, but it did have some, enough to pique your interest to want to know more. If they did want to know more, you could get this other H.A. Ray book, and this has different night skies and constellations. So the first part is all about shapes in the sky and where constellations come from. And then you start meeting constellations and go through the constellation charts. And it has night skies, and it's just a wonderful resource. Another great one is the Usborne Astronomy in Space. This is not with the curriculum necessarily, but it is a very beautiful book, and it has lots of neat images, good small blurbs of information, but it is not a biblical worldview, remind you. Walk Through the Heavens. I actually haven't read this. We got it along with another curriculum, but it has another kind of constellation guide. We picked this one up on a whim. It is Reader's Digest Pathfinder, so you can see I just got it at Half Price Books. My kids enjoy flipping through the various ones and comparing them. And last but not least, for this stack, I recommend The Universe from Institute for Creation Research. I don't get a kickback from them. Our church does support them as a ministry because they do such wonderful work and putting it at a biblical worldview. This book particularly is wonderful. We chose not to read the whole book, but we did go through kind of an origins from a biblical worldview. We talked a little bit about Kepler, I believe, and who else? Some other astronomer. And then we went through each planet, and that kind of helped get a big understanding, and that just took a short amount of time to add on to our days. And then last but not least are biographies, and I do love a good biography. Actually, this one is not fully biographical, so it's interesting. I didn't finish this. Galileo's daughter, again, Dava Sobel kind of burned me on the other one, so this is Finding Wonders. It actually has 3 different biographies. I think only one is an astronomer. Let's see here. So you have Mary Anning and Maria Sibylla Marian, and so Maria Sibylla Marian would be insects. Mary Anning would be geology, but it does have a chapter on Maria Mitchell. That is a good precursor. And then, of course, you can't without Kepler, so we had some Kepler biographies. And then we also had Galileo. And then we had this, which is a great one for older kids. I wouldn't recommend it really for the younger kids. We tried doing it. It was just too much. But Great Astronomers goes through the various astronomers. Let's see if I can find a table of contents. There you go. And it was a good one for my older one to read parts of. So, I know, I'm almost done here. So the last thing is I found freebies or part of different bundles and things like that, just little constellation printouts, and I hung them up around the house. And I don't know where these are from. Sorry, but they were wonderful. Things like this, again, just to hang up as decoration. We learned Twinkle Twinkle in Spanish, so that's fun. That's from Canta con Jess, if you want to do English there. We also have these from Cedar Hill Kids. Those are wonderful. And another Spanish study on the moon from Cedar Hill Kids, which was also really in-depth. And then I have a few other free printables that I found online. Layers of the Atmosphere. This is part of La Fases de la Luna. And so we had that. And then for free, you can go to Little World Wonders, and she has some space activities. It has a list of books, and it has some planet identification and activities to do, and just a whole bunch of different things. A solar system image, a math game, a few other things, and let me see if there's a table of contents. Sorry. So there's a rocket blast, star search game, just a few simple activities there at Little World Wonders. So Little World Wonders and Cedar Hill Kids, I do know that's where those were from. My kids use these to put in their nature journals. So what we did is we would paint black or dark blue. They could mix colors, purple, whatever, to make a night sky with watercolor. Then they would come back the next day with a white gel pen and make the constellation on top of it. And by that, they were able to accumulate several constellations, and they would mark the stars, especially the first magnitude. And the H.A. Ray Constellations book will help you with that because it goes through magnitude, it goes through certain names of certain stars and helps you. And so I highly recommend all these resources for the most part for a science study. I do have one more. It's missing, but it's called Taking Back Astronomy by Dr. Jason Lisle, and it is from, I think it's also from Institute for Creation Research, but Dr. Jason Lisle is now a researcher at Answers for Genesis, or he was. Anyways, so you can find a lot of his videos on Answers for Genesis for free to show to your kids if that is something pertinent, but his book is wonderful, in-depth, but definitely middle or high school level. Because it gets into some astrophysics and all kinds of things, but it comes from a biblical worldview, but it doesn't shy away from the secular teachings of astronomy. And so Taking Back Astronomy from Dr. Jason Lisle is highly recommended for your older kids. So that's all I have for astronomy. I know I went super fast, and I'm not going to be able to link everything below. So if you have a question, want to know what a specific title was that I missed, just hit me a comment down below, and I will hopefully be able to get back to you soon. Thank you so much for watching. Let us go forth and strive to serve the Lord and our families wholeheartedly.